Well, welcome. My name is Karima Elamine, and I'm the Executive Director of the Food Bank Council of Michigan. First of all, we want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to help us kick off the 22nd Annual Michigan Harvest Gathering, the best known and the most well-funded food and fun drive for the state of Michigan. First, I'm going to stray just for 1 second from my prepared thoughts because I want everyone to get their hearts and their minds around the real reason why we're here. 1 in 6 children are at risk of hunger in the state of Michigan. 1 in 8 households struggles to put food on the table for their families. 1 in 10 people use the emergency food system, and the average cost of a single meal in the state of Michigan is $2.43. Yet, the Food Bank Council is able to provide 5 meals for every dollar that you spend. Now, those may be sobering statistics. We know that with your help, we can help alleviate hunger in the Michigan state. Today, we launched our Michigan Harvest Gathering Food and Fun Drive with several of our state offices, the Michigan Hospital Association, Greenstone Insurance, who's one of our new participants in terms of the Food and Fun Drive, the Child Stroker Foundation, and 2 Men in a Truck, who is going to be accepting food and fun donations, at least food donations, right there, right outside the lawn throughout the day until about 2:15. First of all, I want to give special recognition to the Michigan Health and Hospital Association, represented by Brian Peters, over there. Yes, clap whenever I say that. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. They have been a contributor and a supporter of this event since 1998. The MHA has collected 2.3 million pounds of food and just under $1 million for hungry children and families, contributing more than 1/3 of the food and about 15% of the funds that we collect for the Michigan Harvest Gathering. We are also fortunate, pleased, and I'm also very honored to have Attorney General Bill Schuette. He was here with us today. The Attorney General, who has also contributed to Michigan's quality of life as a U.S. Congressman, State Agriculture Department Director, State Senator, Court of Appeals Judge, and private citizen. Wow. He remains committed to the Michigan Harvest Gathering as he and his wife did from the beginning, Cynthia, who founded it 22 years ago. Without further ado, I find it a privilege to introduce the Honorable Bill Schuette.
Hey! Well, good morning. How's everybody?
Wonderful.
Good. Well, welcome to the 22nd. This is your math quiz today. The 22nd anniversary of the Michigan Harvest Gathering, and I'm delighted to be here. 22 years ago, I was delighted to be part of this as well. And 22 years ago, I was serving Michigan as director of the Michigan Department of Agriculture, and it was a tough time 22 years ago. Not enough people had jobs, not enough paychecks, not enough work, going through a tough time, and I went back home after a day's work, and my wife Cynthia and I were talking, just newly married, talking over the dinner table, and she said, "You know, Bill, we need to do something to help people across the state of Michigan." And that's how the Michigan Harvest Gathering was born. A beautiful idea by my bride, and since that gem of an idea, we have worked together with so many people across our great state to lend a hand. And that's how it was born, and we're continuing to lend a hand for a 22-year period of time, and we'll keep doing that for a long, long time. And since that period, 22 years ago, we've raised over 8 million pounds of food to stock the shelves of Michigan's food banks, pantries, soup kitchens across our state, and raised well over almost $8 million to help provide meals to hungry people across the state through this marvelous food bank network. So it's been a tremendous experience. And Cynthia and I, over the years, have so much appreciated the help of folks across the state. But let me just specify a number. First, the Michigan Health and Hospital Association. Brian Peters is here today, and Spence and the Davids and the entire team, the auxiliaries, have do a tremendous job. Every year, lots and lots of money, and every year, lots of food drives throughout the Hospital Association network of our state. Thank you there. The outdoor advertisers, they've been doing wonderful things with billboards. Carol White and the broadcasters have done such a great job with respect to PSAs. We thank them for that. I'm glad that Greenstone is here. My buddy Mark, my buddy Jim Murray from AT&T, who really digs deep all the time. I want to thank them as well. And state employees. We've had wonderful agriculture directors over the years with Gordon Geyer and Keith Cray and Dan Wyatt and lots of folks really just splendid. And this year is no different with the wonderful talent of Jamie Clover Adams, and we'll get to her in just a moment. But what the ag directors do is help drive the state employees' efforts for this private public nonprofit partnership. So I appreciate what state employees do every year. Secretary of State, oh my gosh, what she's doing this year, Ruth Johnson, opening up all her offices across the state, continuing a wonderful history of previous Secretary of States giving of their heart and helping across the state of Michigan. You know, and this year is no different, where the commitment by our governor and the First Lady, that's a consistent approach that we've had over the years. It doesn't matter whether your name is Snyder or Granholm or Engler, whether the First Gentleman or the First Lady. It's been a wonderful experience to have the leaders of our state be part of the Michigan Harvest Gathering, and I'm very grateful to Governor Snyder and Mrs. Snyder, the First Lady, for being so active in the Harvest Gathering this year as well. And let me say, we have a wonderful executive director. The Harvest Gathering has been going on so long. We've had 3 executive directors with Karen and Jane, and now we have this wonderful woman. Give it up for my pal, Karima. You're going to do a wonderful job. Really are. And I guess the thing is, you know, I think the mark of leadership is about giving and serving and endurance. And over the 22 years, the Harvest Gathering has endured because of all of you. And the commitment that my wife and I have is enduring, making sure that every year we get together and make sure that we raise money and food for the Food Bank Council of Michigan. We have a lofty goal. We're going to raise a lot of money this year. We're going to raise a lot of food, but it depends upon people across the state of Michigan. And I guess I just want you to know that in the weeks ahead, we need open hearts, open hands, and open checkbooks. And let me just say, I'll be watching you as Attorney General, making sure that all of you continue to open up your hearts and your hands, and yes, your checkbooks. So I appreciate being here today. Let me say, next on our program is this wonderful Jamie Clover Adams. We've had just tremendous directors of the Michigan Department of Agriculture. Gosh, Augie Fernandez has maybe met every one of them. He came all the way from Texas today. I appreciate Augie. And Jamie has had a tour of duty serving in 2 different states and state capitals, served here in the Michigan Senate as a counsel. Now she's really just doing an exemplary job, advocating for farmers, advocating for rural Michigan. Appreciate Bob Randall's being here as well. And ladies and gentlemen, give it up for my pal, my cohort, Jamie Clover Adams, the director of the Michigan Department of Agriculture. Jamie. Hey!
Now what do you say after that? I'm just here today to say thank you to the state employees who have supported the Harvest Gathering over the years. Listening to the General, I hope that 20 years from now I have something that I can come back to and remain committed to. So I've got to put my thinking cap on about how to do that. State employees have raised nearly $500,000 and about 850,000 pounds of food over about 7 years. And we always start this event with the Farmers Market on the Capitol lawn. So I'd like to thank the Farmers Market Association and the Michigan Farm and Food Systems for partnering on this event and partnering on the Capitol lawn. I can see it. Farmers Market, there you go. It's the 7th year we've done that. They do a great job. Bill had his 3, mine are buy local, give local, and buy fresh. There you go, buy fresh. Apple. So I would encourage you just to shop today. As Bill said, go visit the food bank booth. Open your wallet. When you go and buy for your family, open your wallet for other people's families. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Attorney General and Director Adams. I'd like to piggyback on something that Jamie just said about buy fresh and buy local. The food at the farmers market at the Capitol is wonderful. One of the things you can do to help support the Michigan Harvest Gathering, as we have signs on each one of the vendors that are here today. And what we'd like for you to do is to, when you buy something for yourself, also buy something to put into the 2 Men in the Truck right up front. We'd like you to donate a bag to us as well as you get something to fill your own refrigerator. Help us fill the refrigerators of children and families around the state. I also like to take a moment to recognize the Food Bank Council of Michigan not only encompasses the director, the way that we do what we do and what drives the Food Bank Council of Michigan are its member food bank organizations and the directors. I'd like all the food bank directors that are here in the audience, so would you please step up? I see Kenneth Stell, I see a future one, or raise your hand. And Joe Wall, he's going to be one soon with the merger. We have Dwayne Wells, my board chair, Carol Ross from Flint, and all the other ones that are a part of the Food Bank Council of Michigan. We appreciate your dedication to your service. We could not do the work that we do in emergency food without your leadership. I'd like to now talk and have the privilege of bringing to you Mike Cinco, or Cynico. I want to say it's nothing worse than someone saying your name wrong. You can believe I know about that. Chief of Staff for Michigan Secretary of State Ruth Johnson. Mike is a longtime public servant who is here with us today on behalf of Secretary Johnson to talk about the ongoing commitment and key role his department plays in feeding the hungry. Mike.
Good morning. Thank you, Karima. And again, I'm Mike Seneca. I'm Chief of Staff for the Michigan Secretary of State, Ruth Johnson. On behalf of the Secretary, I want to thank everyone again for supporting this wonderful effort year after year. And again, I want to thank Bill Schuette, who launched this effort along with his wife in 1991. So thank you. I know Secretary of State Johnson is not here with us, obviously, and she's disappointed that she can't be here. She is in the Middle East currently, where she is visiting our troops to discuss how she can improve the voting process abroad to help them be able to vote and serve on behalf of our citizens of this great country. She's intent on removing any barriers so that these brave men and women at home can serve abroad and promote our democracy here at home. The trip provides her with the insight that she needs to help make sure these types of things happen. Since she couldn't be here today, she asked me to reaffirm her commitment to serving in the steadfast campaign of Michigan Harvest Gathering. As many of you know, the Secretary of State's office has partnered with the Food Bank Council of Michigan since 1999 to bring food to the hungry. Why? Because our 131 branch offices across the state provide a great opportunity to provide Michigan citizens locations to drop off food. Every day, more than 50,000 people pass through our branch offices. That's 50,000 people every day that have the opportunity to contribute and resolve this issue. Last year alone, we collected more than 12,000 pounds of food and over $4,400 in cash donations to help feed Michigan's families. Beginning today, nearly all of our Secretary of State branch offices will collect donations from the public. And as we have done in the past, our plan is to continue collecting donations past the campaign deadline of October 15th, all the way through the end of November. Why? Because we have the ability to, and we will. On behalf of Secretary Johnson, I want to thank our employees publicly for their ongoing commitment and service on behalf of this campaign. Of course, we could not do this without our partners, particularly the Michigan Health and Hospital Association, 2 Men in a Truck, Michigan's 50,000 state employees, Michigan's nearly 10 million citizens who help donate and resolve this issue, and of course the people on the front line who deliver this food and feed the hungry, those people at the soup kitchens, the pantries, the shelters, and the food banks. Thank you so much to everyone involved. Finally, I would like to again thank the Food Bank Council of Michigan who lead this campaign. Without them and without you, countless people in Michigan will go hungry. As Secretary Johnson has said in the past, this is public service at its best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mike. Also, to piggyback on what Mike said, we have a new slogan that we use around the Food Bank Council, and we have a bumper sticker for each and every one of you. I have some staff members out there that says, I feed people. What we do in this work is feed people.
Hey, yes!
So we really believe in the work that we do here at the Food Bank Council of Michigan. So if you don't have a bumper sticker, please get one because we want you to help us push the work that we're doing. Next, I'd like to bring up Brian Peters. Brian Peters is the Executive Vice President of the Michigan Health and Hospital Association and Executive Director of the MHA Health Foundation. The MHA is the principal statewide advocate for hospitals, health systems, and other healthcare providers who are committed to improving community health. Through education, leadership development, community health improvement, workforce development, and patient safety and quality, the MHA Foundation supports hospitals and their community partners in improving the health of individuals and communities throughout Michigan. Brian.
Thank you very much. I'm here this morning on behalf of the Michigan Health and Hospital Association, representing 137 hospitals and health systems throughout the state, and also on behalf of the Michigan Association of Healthcare Advocates, which represents the hospital auxilians and volunteers who are so critical to the success of this effort. On behalf of both organizations, our collective hat is off to Bill Schutte and his wife Cynthia, who had the vision to launch this program and, just as importantly, have had the passion to continue our very strong progress. We are delighted to be a part of this very worthwhile effort. You've heard the numbers this morning, but they're worth repeating. Our hospitals statewide have raised in excess of 2.4 million pounds of food and have raised nearly $1 million, again, toward this very worthwhile effort. Thank you. We are committed to continuing this important work here in the state. We know the need is greater than ever, and we know that our hospitals throughout the state of Michigan are committed not only to treating sick people that walk into our front door, but also in shoring up our mission of improving the health status of our communities throughout the state. And it is that mission that relates so directly to this important work of Michigan Harvest Gathering. We know the importance of providing good meals to those individuals in our communities, particularly our children. And in fact, the MHA is currently engaged in a Healthy Food Hospitals campaign to ensure that we eliminate industrial trans fats from the food that we offer to our patients and visitors, and to our own 250,000 hospital employees who come through our doors every day, that we engage in menu labeling, and that we also engage in a buy local strategy. So there's a perfect fit with the goals of the Michigan Harvest Gathering. It is now my great privilege to do something we have done for a number of years, and hopefully it will again help to kickstart our campaign here in 2012. On behalf of the MAHA and the MHA, it's now my great pleasure to provide a check in the amount of $30,000 to support the Michigan Harvest Gathering campaign.
Thank you so much, Brian, and we want to thank the Michigan Hospital Association for their generous contribution to the Michigan Harvest Gathering. Next up is Carol White. Carol White has been president and CEO of the Michigan Association of Broadcasters, one of the most respected trade organizations in the state, since 1985. She was inducted into the Michigan Broadcasting Hall of Fame in 2010 and into the Michigan Society of Association Executives Hall of Fame in 2004. In addition to her extensive association management experience, Carol experienced in marketing, fundraising, advertising, and organizational development and customer service. She's helped kick off the Michigan Harvest Gathering before. Carol, thank you so much and welcome back.
Thank you. Michigan's 389 radio and television broadcasters all over the state are pleased to join in this effort again this year. And I want to thank the Attorney General Bill Schutte and his wonderful wife Cynthia, who is a former broadcaster, for getting us involved in the very first one. We're so pleased to do this. We are pleased to run public service announcements and help to raise money not only for Michigan's Harvest Gathering and for the Food Bank Council, but to do it all year long. Hunger is one of the top 10 most addressed issues among broadcasters in the state. So we understand, we realize, and we're going to be here for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Carol. And the advertisements have been running. I heard one on the Ricky Smiley show. Who would have thought, a nationally syndicated show? So thanks a lot, Carol. Next up, we have Teresa Vickery. Teresa is a human resources professional at Greenstone Farm Credit Services, a rural lender located in East Lansing. Greenstone is the country's 6th largest association in the farm credit system and employs 475 people in Michigan and Northeast Wisconsin. Teresa specializes in developing employee programs that support Greenstone's core values and inspire involvement with communities. This is the first year that the Greenstone Insurance has actually done a food and fun drive with their employees. So we're really excited about their participation. Come on, Teresa.
Thank you. We've been so proud to be a part of this year. We've been supporting Michigan Harvest Gathering since 2001, but this is the first year that we are actually a sponsor. So it's a big movement for us. Just a little history about Greenstone. We're a $6 billion organization with more than 22,000 members throughout Michigan and Northeast Wisconsin. Greenstone is the leading provider of financial services and financing in our communities. A large part of our culture revolves around our core values, which are customer first, deliver quality, do the right thing, and get involved. This movement certainly does mean to get involved, and our customers and our employees are dedicated to that. In 2011, Greenstone provided more than $470,000 in financial support to other organizations in our community. We also served in cumulative $3,000 of volunteer time. Combating hunger in Michigan is very important to us. A 2009 report showed that Michigan's food assistance cases reached a monthly average of 800,000 requests during the 4th quarter in 2009. And that some parents were going without food just to feed their children. The time for assistance is now, and Greenstone is taking action. Michigan agriculture is the state's 2nd leading industry and provides our state with an economic impact of $91 billion a year. Our customers play an important role in combating hunger in this state. They work tirelessly each and every day to ensure that families have safe, affordable, and nutritious food supplies. Greenstone employees are passionate about supporting our customers and reaching the needs of the community. In addition to our corporate gift this year, we have organized an employee fundraiser which will solely benefit Michigan Harvest Gathering. Greenstone is a proud supporter of Michigan Harvest Gathering, our community, and the agricultural industry. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Teresa. Before we close, let me also recognize AT&T Michigan, the Outdoor Advertising Association of Michigan, Harry Hobbs, and the Edward and Linda Dressner Levi Foundation, the dedicated board members of the Food Bank Council of Michigan who are with us today, and the Michigan Farmers Market Association for sharing the state capitol steps with us today. Lastly, I encourage you to bring food donations to the 2 Men in a Truck vehicle between now and 2:15 today. You can either purchase food from the farmers here today and bring it to the truck, or you can bring food home. I also would like to acknowledge Representative Hopeman, Chair of the Ag Committee. Thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate your support. And so I would like you to, all the food and funds that are collected for this community goes to the Greater Lansing Food Bank. The great thing about the Michigan Harvest Gathering, when you donate in your community, though it goes into the statewide tally, it stays in your community, and that's the wonderful thing about our process. Also, we encourage you to visit www.feedmichigan.org to donate online or to get more information. And I encourage you to help us fight hunger in our great state. And most of all, I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us today and helping us end hunger in Michigan. Thank you so much for your time.